Kenny, first of all, can you tell me a bit about Thinktank and what you do here to bring science to new audiences, especially children?
Absolutely. So I work at Thinktank Birmingham Science Museum, and it's our 10th birthday this year. So in 2001 we opened up, and our remit is to sort of bring the science and the relevance of science from the past through the present and into the future to all the residents of Birmingham. We are very popular as a family attraction, but we also do a lot of events and activities for adults. We have a very large schools program, but then we also sort of, no audience is off limits to us, so we work a lot with early years as well, and also have a very strong engagement with our local communities. The museum itself is filled with 10 exhibitions looking at all aspects of science and technology, like I said, from the past all the way into the future. But then a large part of our work actually goes towards doing various events and activities for all of our different audiences alongside the collections to help bring them to life.
And what can you tell me about Café Scientifique?
Well, the Café Scientifique is just one example of our adult activities that we do, and they take place in a pub just around the corner from here. We're aware that, in the evening, which is the time when adults would like to go to the pub, Millennium Point isn't necessarily the most attractive option. So instead we take the science to the audience, and we set up in a local pub just around the corner, and every month, it's the first Tuesday of every month, we have a good old evening of discussion around science. We invite in a local speaker who will then sort of give us the background to their subject area, whether it's biofuels, cancer, forensic analysis of writing, all these different sorts of things. And then we have a proper discussion linked around that. So it's very much driven by the audience. You can ask any questions you want, but rather than it being a lecture format, which, let's face it, people don't really want to go to in an evening, it is very, very discussion based, always good fun. We sometimes have very controversial issues come up, but they tell a story, and that's the most exciting and relevant part of the cafes. They're great fun.
And you've been blogging at the Birmingham Post Science blog recently. How has the internet changed the way that you think or go about your work?
It's a really interesting one, actually, because it's suddenly an avenue that is open to everyone. So previously, any sort of communications I would have to do would either go through our formal exhibitions or our programming teams or our marketing teams. Now, with things like the blog on the Birmingham Post website, it means I can actually talk to people directly, or directly from my point of view. I can contribute without it having to go through various committees and things like this, which means that we can get communications out very quickly, very honestly, I imagine, without the sort of marketing spin that other people might want to put on things, and it just creates a new avenue of discussion and dialogue with our audiences, which is a wonderful opportunity, and we're trying to sort of make the most of as best we can.
And what are you optimistic about?
I'm optimistic about the future science background of children. Let's put it like that. I don't want to sound like Michael Jackson, but children are the future. And through the work that we do here at Thinktank, we're trying to inspire new scientists. We're trying to encourage people to consider science as a subject that they can take at school and then going on into university. And we try and give people the skills to appraise the science that they come across in the media, at school, and in any other format, and decide what the relevance is for themselves, whether they believe it, and how they're going to take that science forwards. We are all surrounded by science and technology, and it's very important that people understand where it's come from, what it means to them, and what risks it possibly has for them in the future, but also the possibilities that it has. And if we can encourage as many people as possible to get involved in those debates, then that is only a better thing for society in Britain.
And what role do you think the Thinktank can play in that process?
Well, I would like to think that Thinktank has a pivotal role in that. We are seen as a family attraction, so people come to us for enjoyment, fun, entertainment, amusement, but on the background of all of that, we also have a very strong focus on learning, but it's learning in a very accessible sort of way. Whilst we try and make everything as enjoyable as possible, science is at the heart of everything that we do. And if we can bring that to our audiences and make them feel more comfortable about science, make them feel that science is something for them, then that is only a good thing. And so our role is very much, I guess, being a broker between the scientists and the wider general public. And a large part actually of what we do is we bring scientists into the museum and help them engage with the general public on their work, on the issues that surround it and the risks and the policies that go forwards from that. And the more that we can do with that sort of thing, then the more engaged society will be with science in general.